In order to promote clean energy and self-sustainability, the Government of Gujarat has promoted the Gandhinagar Photovoltaic Rooftop Program. This program aims at maximizing installations of solar photovoltaic systems on rooftops and terraces of private homes, commercial and institutional buildings, and government buildings.
So the Gandhinagar Solar Rooftop Program, it's a 5 megawatt rooftop program which was envisioned to really jumpstart rooftop installations at a city level. So before then they were all kilowatt level installations. Usually it was all government investments before this program. And we said that let's not do government investments, we should get private investment, because ultimately if you want to make a sector scalable, that's the money should be flowing from the private sector. So we said we have to structure a PPP model, public-private partnership model. So that's the investment. The second is, in this program, we wanted the PV systems, which have a life of 25 years. We wanted them to run for 25 years in the best possible manner. So one of the unique aspects of this program is we said that instead of giving any capital-based incentives or subsidies, let us give a generation-based, let us do a generation-based program. So in this case, it becomes a power purchase agreement, which is pretty common in any solar power plant. So we said the investment comes from the private. They will sign a power purchase agreement with the distribution company. So that way we ensure that the PV systems run for a long time, and it is a private developer who takes care of the performance of.
GERMI is an autonomous research institute of the Government of Gujarat for research and development in the energy sector of the state, and has done considerable work on solar power. Under this program, GERMI will act as bid process coordinator, wherein it will invite bid for selection of rooftop solar power project developer.
We have a number of stakeholders. One is the developer itself, which we chose through a competitive tariff-based bidding. So we selected 2 developers and we gave them a quota of about 2.5 megawatts each. Next, what we did is we wanted as many installations on private homes, right, domestic rooftops. But again, due to the risks perceived of having so many installations on private, which was never done in India before, after stakeholder consultations, it was decided that we can give about 80% of rooftops as some sort of an insurance through government buildings, because Gandhinagar being a state capital, a political capital, we have enough government buildings, which makes every developer has 2 megawatts worth of space and then 500 kilowatts on private homeowners.
The project developers, while utilizing the rooftops and terraces of property owners, will pay a green incentive to the property owner. This green incentive will be a monetary amount paid monthly or bi-monthly to the property owner, which will directly depend upon the solar electricity generated by the photovoltaic system and fed into the electricity grid.
Where again we said, how much should the rent be? Can the developer pay for real estate? And the answer is no. If you're earning money in terms of energy, you cannot pay for real estate. Real estate is very expensive. So we said, can we make this a generation-based rent? So for every unit that the developer injects into the grid, which the distribution company buys, can we give some share to the homeowner or the building owner? This way, the building owner also becomes a party to the generation. So you'll see that all the stakeholders, which is the developer, the distribution company, the government company, and the building owner, they're all becoming they are all stakeholders, but they're all their income is based, or expense is based on the generation. No capital subsidy, no capital costs involved. It's only the developer who's investing in the capital. Then we went back to the data, and we saw that a typical house or these houses have so much of conventional energy consumption. So if I want to offset the electricity bill, the consumption bill versus the solar, from the solar generation bill, if you pay them about 3 rupees, then you can try to offset the electricity consumption bill, right? So that's how we came out with this particular piece of innovation, where we said 3 rupees a unit has to be paid by the developer to the homeowner, and this is for every unit fed.
वे मीटर्स हैं जो 2 मीटर आप देख रहे हैं. So these 2 meters are one of them is main meter, other one is check meter. Suppose in case if any one meter gets failed, so other meter will continue to account the generation, whatever it is generating, the solar plant is generating. So right now you can say right now it has already generated almost 10,000 units. 10,000 units, that means 30,000 this building owner has already earned from this.
फ़ायदा तो होता ही है ना. जो एक तो सोलर, मेरे को लाइट बिल में कमी होती है. डायरेक्ट तो नहीं मिलता, लेकिन आप जो डायरेक्ट वो मिलता है उसके हिसाब से मेरा लाइट बिल तो निकलता है. हम दोनों ही घर में रहते हैं.
દર મહિને તો કહું છું ને એકાઉન્ટમાં જમા થાય એટલે સાહેબને ખબર હોય. હા, 1200-1500 ની વચ્ચે હોય છે એમ.
અમારે અમને ફાયદો તો એ થયો કે એમ જે ગરમી ઓછી લાગે. પછી લાઇટ બિલ, ગેસ બિલ, ટેલિફોન બિલ इसमें से हो जाता है.
So this is the business model which was actually established. We developed the entire structure, we developed the bid process, the bid documents, all the agreements. We got it vetted by the regulator himself, including the rent agreement. And we got 2 good developers through tariff-based competitive bidding. The developers themselves ensure that the generation is going good, because that's what the system was designed for. The PPP model, where the developer will take care of the generation, ensure maximum uptime. They are getting paid by the distribution company. Then the developers are paying rent. So the system business model that we developed was simple, based on simple checks and balances, which so far has been running pretty well.